You won't need it to stay warm. You're so afraid of my affections. You could drown in your own storm. There's no need for reservation. No one else can see. After some examination, ma'am, I think that you've got what I need. It's really alright. It's really alright. It's really alright if you don't love me. What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, that cold-hearted landscape or me? What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, that cold-hearted landscape or me? Okay, mic is back on. Hey, Gary. I hit myself in the chin with what turned out to be the outside of the roll of tape. Brand new roll. I am making the mold for my next purse. And I got in some wool today. I got in this pink, beautiful rosy color, and mint green and sky blue, but I already put those away. But this is the cool thing, because this is the stuff that's going to be worked into the llama hair. This is like super hippy dippy, bohemian. I love that. So it's got sky blue and yellow and a little bit of green in there, where the yellow and the blue overtake each other. And then we've got the natural, what looks like, I would say, coffee dyed or tea dyed colors, you know, your beiges. This is going to be gorgeous. I mean, I don't know if what I'm making is going to come out, but the wool itself is gorgeous. And it is the third one for my collection, but I have others coming. Oh, okay. That was a surprise. You gotta be so careful with this stuff. Yep, that's it. This is made to like go on duct, actual duct, where the original word came from, not duck, but duct, duct tape, D-U-C-T. But once people started calling it duct tape and leaving the T off, they actually came up with a company making duct tape for ducts. But it's meant to go on and stay on. Now, after we no longer had to deal with ducts in our home, we found another use for this stuff. The bottom of our kayaks. Before we would go out onto the wilds, we would put a few strips of this at the most vulnerable points at the bottom of our kayaks. And this helped prevent it wearing on the plastic. And boy, did it save us some wear and tear. We saw some other kayaks that didn't take that precaution. Ours looked years younger than theirs. But sometimes you can't carry it. Sometimes you end up dragging it, especially at the end of the day when you've been paddling all day and you just can't lift anything else, you know. And Glenn and I each had our own kayak, so it wasn't like both of us could hold it over our heads and carry it that way. We each had to drag our kayaks. And sometimes it would be across grass and some rocks and sand and stuff like that to get to where the car was parked. Okay. Now, as you notice, this styrofoam is black and white. It's because it's recycled. And I noticed in handling it that the black, whatever is in the black, it doesn't make a better, I mean, it sticks together, but not as good as all black does or all white. Because I think there's something in the recycled black that resists. I could be wrong, but in handling this, it's way more crumbly than any other I've used. It could just be their fixative. I am not up to date on this technology. I say just if you don't cut it with a heat knife, or we used to use a wire, this just all becomes like loose popcorn just sitting on itself, compressed together. Not, yeah, it's not good. I'd say that's good if it's breaking down, but I have seen nothing to suggest that this is compostable. So I'm going to try and cover that edge. All I'm really wanting to do is keep these pieces together while I felt them. I'm not covering the whole thing in tape. It would just be a waste. Well, I can see how strong I'm not. stick. Things don't like to stick to foam. One of the reasons we're using it. It's hot today, huh? We have a gorgeous day today. I think it's in the 50s today. 60 degrees. Nice. What do you use to cool your place? Do you have a sump pump? Or heat pump? I know some pumps you have to have humidity. That's what it works on, water, instead of Freon. Yeah, what you're looking for is the same stuff they use for athlete's foot. Candida is most likely what it is. Common. Lotrimin, that's it. Get yourself some Lotrimin powder. That's not uncommon, Gary. You're at the age that it's going to be happening more and more, and you live in that climate. Just try to wear looser clothes. Go commando. It doesn't take anything for this to just fall apart. Look at that. My bedroom and kitchen windows are open wide, and I've got a beautiful breeze going through here. The air smells good and fresh. It's not pollen time yet. That brief in between seasons I love. sticking out either. Way around those. The foam you worked really well for the smaller purse, but I need something bigger. All right, well, oh dear. Okay, we're gonna have to just choose a side. Okay, looks like I am covering most of it. And my arms are getting a workout today. This is Duck brand duct tape. You can hear it quack. Okay. But we've got this side. I expect it to be having more fun by now. Did you hear me say Lotramin powder is what you need? It's for when big boys get sore tushies. Little bitch there, you behave yourself. That wasn't what I wanted, but it is so strong when it touches itself. You can't undo it. Nope, one more piece. Damn it. Well, at least I don't have to do it on this side. This side, it's sticking up and it won't stay down, so we have to cover it. it should be against the law that the place gets that hot. Seriously, against the law. But corporations are above the law now in certain states like yours. All right. God, please be enough. Not very much there. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do this corner too, or it's going to be really hard to slide the wool off. I think I need a sip of tea for this effort. Down the right pipe would be better.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Okay. Good thing it wasn't a bigger sip. You're drowning. I have some strong glue. It smells it too. Smells like molten plastic. All right, the corners are secure. I think that'll be secure. Well, it's easier to do standing up. Excuse me. Okay, all four corners. You are going to be the end that goes into the bag. I guess I should cover you too. I wish there was an easier way to do this. I thought about doing a plastic bag over it and taping the bag down, but that'd be more of a mess as it moves. So we're just going to finish this up. A friend of mine stopped by just as I was getting ready to go live. She was looking to make frosting, and I had all the ingredients. It delayed me getting here a little bit. Excuse me. But that isn't the reason I brought that up. I just got distracted and forgot already. Okay, the fumes are getting to me. Now, I thought of making a pocket to go on it, like the front. That would have to be made, I guess, around the same time if I want to felt them together. I'm gonna have to learn more. That's a little bit more advanced. And although I am using some advanced techniques, before I go spending a lot of yarn or wool, I want to make sure that I really know what I'm doing. Now, I have found 2 American sources, so I don't need to rely on Temu anymore, because Temu is unpredictable. Also, like, I got this little bit for $1.60. I'm going to have to weigh it, because I can get an ounce of wool that I know is definitely wool for $3.50. So if this is not an ounce, it's not really a bargain. And the more you are doing felting, the more you need bargains, because you can go through this stuff really fast. Okay, so for this project, I am going to need some pinks. I am going to do some color matching with a dress. I'm not asking for help with, why do these AI things just start? You touch your phone to move it, and suddenly you have called upon Gemini or Google or somebody. Now, this pink is one I definitely wanted for this project. I don't know if I want to go so far as to add some of these beautiful peachy colors. Let me get the magic yarn I'm going to be working with, which is right here. So the first thing that we're going to be using is the plain white. And now that we're so far into the day, I'll probably be doing this, the construction will begin tomorrow, so I can get a good jump on it. So this is the wool we're going to incorporate because it's just so cool. It's a multiple strand. It's got some glittery in it. Now I can cut that out. I'm not sure if I really want glitter in my purse, because as glittery as I can be, I want to have a more, I don't know, everyday kind of a look. And this is everyday if you're under 12. So I'll probably be removing the glitter, keeping this lavender. This is 2 or 3. This is 3 strands of wool here. So we'll use the 3. So we've got a woolly pink, we've got a loopy lavender with loops built in, and of course our teeny tiny tassels. So this is going to be fun. What was that foam thing you had? This is the mold I just put together. That's going to be the size of the purse. Now, if I was going to use gold, I've got a superior gold thread. This is actually metal. This is, I had a piece that I unwound and I had it on the desk for 2 weeks and it did not tarnish, even being around all the water on my desk. So I'm impressed by that stuff. Okay, so this is my suitcase of specialty yarns. 4 more balls of yarn coming. I may have to start separating them by color. Okay, so speaking of colors, I'm going to go get the dress that I have in mind. Okay, so I have these 2 dresses, and they're quite different, but they're in the same color family, which means I might be able to make one purse and have it go with everything. Now, let me just take the gold out of there for a minute, because we're not going to use the gold. Well, I think that goes very well with these. Look at that. That's about perfect. It's even got lavender in there. The cool thing is that I bought these dresses from the same place that these yarns were dyed, which means there's a high chance that they're going to be in the same color family. So, nice, simple. And this is just a simple velour kind of a thing. So both of them are extremely plain, and we'll want some kind of decoration. Okay, so let's pick out, pale pink is always good. This is too rosy. We need softer colors. Nope. Oh, very close. But not for this project. Now we do have a little, that's a little too dark. So closer to white. I'm just gonna go with that. Oh, but wait a minute. Look at that. Okay. Okay, this is just a little off. The more it can melt into this white, this natural color, the better. Like, I could possibly make that work. This is maybe too pink. You know what, let me cut a length of this. Matter of fact, it's going to be come on again. Okay. Let us remove the spark glue for another project. No need to waste it. Ah, that'll work. Come on, we're almost there. A million and one uses for toilet paper rolls. Okay. Now, do I have another one? I do. This is perfect. so soft. Okay, so that is going into the purse. This is going into storage with this, because I shan't need that again, I think, for this project. See, when you see how much you need for a project, sometimes it's like, oh my God, this, I'm getting so much out of this one, you know, $7, $8 investment. It's worth it. I mean, if I were selling things, I would just have to sell one purse for $50, and I would have half my supply covered. Oh, my supply of these fancy yarns. Not everything. Okay, my back is killing me. It needs to sit. Well, I just ordered some stamps today. I go direct to the post office so I can get the ones I like. Oh yes, my cats used to like that too. And you don't mind when they're destroyed. Okay, we got this nice pale pink, which is actually a little perfect right there. Look at that. That's right there. And now do we need this one? See, that could go too. I'm gonna keep that out. This, well, no, I should go a little more lavender for that. What about you, Pinky? You're so pretty. Yeah, we need some of you, don't we? Okay. This is wrong, but what do we have here? Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And cuckoo. Okay, that is a better match. That is a little too dramatic, but then again, when this is close to, it is also a good match. We're gonna go lighter though, I think, because we want it to be kind of blending in and showing the color, but at the same time kind of being a little on the invisible side, like a shadow of color. Okay, I'm just gonna have to unroll it a little bit. All right, so we've got this, which is a bunch of colors, all in the same family. And this is definitely a lavender. Let's put some white against that and you can see the colors. Okay, so this pink, actually, this is better. This is about perfect for that. This pink, nope, we can skip that pink. All right, so let's look at this purple here. Wrong purple. I think that's also the wrong purple. What are you? Almost. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't go with any lavender at all. But if we're going to have some lavender, it needs to be the right one. I'm gonna say that's not quite the right one. because this is actually two colors. One is a dusty purple wrapping a silvery blue. Well, if we're going to put something in there, I guess it's going to have to be you. It had to be you. Well, I guess that would work okay. Oops. But that would be very noticeable. Nope. I think we're going to limit the colors here. If we go, what do we have here? That's almost peach, comparing it. This is the pink to white. This might work. Oh, you do look purple there, don't you? Gosh. This is a hard choice. This has a hint of the blue in it. And that goes with that. All right, we're going to go with that and leave out the direct purple. I think that would just be too, jarring to the eye. And these will work. Okay. Well, we're going to find out tomorrow when we start putting everything together. These look nice too. Oh, choices, choices. I have a fortune I found in my trunk. A fortune cookie. Ah. Okay. And I'll open one for you. That will break the tedium of color matching on camera. Oh, okay. That one popped out. But you know how we do it. The one that jumped out was on the left, so left, middle, right. You choose. I got another notice. The courier has received my package. It's the other yarns. I should have it in 5 to 9 business days. Oh yes, there is the fuzzy blues with pink in it. It's saw that and I thought children would enjoy this. And then there's one that's all rainbow colors, which we're all going to love, because who doesn't love a rainbow? Yes, I'm excited. Oh, you sent a photo. Everyone is fun. You just have to find their fun side. Exactamundo. Oh, it's up to 63. Although I guess this is about as hot as it's going to get all day. All right. You want the middle one. You got it. It's time to have Chinese food. Financial abundance is near. Financial abundance is near. I think I'll save that and give it to somebody else as well to make their day. You get what you believe. That's why we have to train our brains. Brain always goes to the negative. You have to train it to look for the joy and the positive. And the suitcase this belongs in. Excuse me a second. Check my front door. All is well. Hey, check out my pants. They're my happy pants. Okay, I think I'm gonna, since I've got room in there, we're gonna put that real pale pink back in there. Okay. Oh my gold bond is cold. It is powder, right? You didn't get the lotion. Yeah, I think we did well. Get this. Yeah, very close. Well, we'll see how it felt. We're not going to need a lot of this, but you want everything handy when you start work. No, you would have enjoyed our conversation at the table today. It was different. can't see how it felt. Now we have one of the women in our circle. I'm going to say she was probably about close to 10 years younger than me. And she looks a little butch. But we were talking about perceptions because we were talking about our gay family members. And I forget what the reason was. Oh, when my brother-in-law was outed by his lesbian daughter. Was it elderly? Well, all of us there are pretty elderly, but now we talk honestly, but we're not really frank. I'm the one with the mouth, but I also try to be careful because not everybody is ready to hear how, the way I cuss like a sailor sometimes. Well, this woman, we were talking about how just because you look mannish or feminine doesn't mean you're gay, because people, it's all different. Oh, I know this started because of Christy Noem's husband being caught playing big boobed broad. So I said, I'm not kink shaming, whatever you want to do, you do. I just don't believe that they were married 22 years and she had no clue about it. But that's when we started talking about, because someone said, yeah, I don't think he's gay. And I said, look, he may not be gay. You don't have to be gay to want to play a woman. And you don't necessarily want a sex change because you want to dress like a woman and vice versa. Some women dress more manly. And I said, there's all different ranges, Well, it turns out her twin brother, not identical twins, but, born in the same womb, but separate eggs. Her twin brother is gay. And so because she looks kind of, she dresses kind of mannish and she was more muscular, she's not much bigger than me. Okay, I'm not talking about someone who looks butch. She dresses a little bit more mannish, like sleeves with pockets in the front, like you're a lumberjack kind of a thing, but feminine, like she wears pink, she wears jewelry, she wears some makeup, which again, it's not a tell, but she's that's just like I was always accused of. What was so funny was, she said, no, people are always accusing me of that because of my brother being gay, and I said, no, I like dick. I almost fell out of my chair because that was the most unexpected thing from that woman ever. And that was just freaking hilarious to me. Yeah. Well, she was trying to be clear that she's not gay. She's got nothing against gays, but she didn't understand. See, she doesn't understand that you can know that you are not hetero from a very, very young age. So, see, she was confused because she's got a friend who was like a Republican, mouth always anti-gay people and anti-this, but then he turns out to be gay, and he gets together with a guy, but he's still feeling shame, and she said, I don't believe, you don't know. I mean, how come he was suddenly gay? I knew him all his life, and he was never gay. And I said, because some people aren't triggered until they're older. Some people are even called late life homosexual or late in life lesbians. I mean, I am not one of those people, but I've heard it happen, so I'm not going to dispute it. But my niece, when she was 6 years old, I told her what a pretty little girl she was, and she looked me right in the eye and said, I'm not a girl, I'm a little boy. And she always knew she was a boy inside. And everybody I've known who's gay knew since they were very young that they were gay. And sometimes you might not have the words for it or a way to express it as a small child, but you're not like everybody else. And I said one of the reasons people hide what they are is because they're told from an early time to be ashamed of it, or it's bad, it's wrong, and if you're in a Bible Belt, you're screwed. You might end up in conversion therapy that causes more kids to go into suicide than anything else. So it's our lack of acceptance of people's differences, you know, is a problem. So I told this woman, who I won't mention by name because we're public, I said, look, I used to, because growing up, I always thought I looked like my father, and my younger sisters, they looked prettier and daintier, and I was a little skinny person with glasses. I was the nerd girl. But I always thought later on, when I was questioned about it, it's like, well, I guess I look kind of boyish. And my problem came with me believing my father did not want me to be a girl, and he wanted a boy, and I was his firstborn, and he was disappointed I was a girl. He treated me like a boy anyway, for the most part. But, you know, we are given all these misconceptions as children. Your mother was mad for years. Yeah, a lot of them are. And I said, look, my sister has, well, her daughter is dead now. She died at 28. But she was a butch lesbian. I said, when she was younger and she was hiding it because she was punished basically emotionally by her mother if she did anything that suggested she would prefer girls. But she was always into girls, and her first girlfriend was clearly a girl. And after she tried to kill herself, when she was recovering in the hospital, it was a girl who was there comforting her like a mother. You know, they were a couple, and I knew that, and it didn't bother me, obviously. But my sister believes that gay is a choice because her husband was gay, and he was gay when she met him. But because he had sex with her and it was great, she decided he's not gay, and they married. And he fought it for 22 years, but at the end he was so depressed he became an alcoholic, and finally his daughter exposed him. He passed out while he was in an inappropriate chat on AOL, and his daughter went down and saw him in the morning and read the chat and outed him. And my sister was, of course, insane, but the only people in my family who did not know he was gay, because he was obvious, was the woman who was married to him and our mother. His mother knew. When she found out that the divorce was coming, she said, oh, did he find another boy? She'd been waiting for years for him to come out, because that's what he was growing up when he was adopted. So I feel bad when people have to hide what they are. Like, I am extremely open, as you know that. If I ever thought I had fallen in love with a woman and something in me was changing, I would say so. That's not me. But I understand if it can happen to some people. I'm not going to judge that. And right now, honestly, I wish I was a lesbian, because these days so many men just plain suck. I wouldn't want them for a boyfriend or a husband. I don't want them as mates. They're unmannerly, they're immature, they can't handle any emotional. To think about it the way I did as a teenager in my 20s, when I was a normal horny person. But no matter how horny I got, it's only been for men. So I figured, I understand theoretically it's possible to change, because I've heard people that did that. But, I just don't see it for myself. Oh God, I don't know. Who would I want to be like? Probably Lily Tomlin. I loved her as Frankie, and she actually is a lesbian. She just seems like a real, genuine person, and she's not full of shit, except in a playful way. So I'd like to be like. And as far as friends are concerned, gay men make women the best friends. Okay, this is not going to be enough wool. Definitely not. Luckily, I have more. That's not it. And that's not it. We're getting closer. You chose her to be like or be with? The closest I ever got to fantasizing being a man, or is when I started kayaking, and we found ourselves in parts of the woods, like when you have to pee. God, did I wish I could pee standing up like a guy. But I found a substitute. There is something for women to use in the woods, so I bought one. No, it's not a fake weenie. It's actually more like a taco shell to direct you so you don't have to undress in the woods. And when it's getting cold in autumn, yeah, getting undressed in the woods is not something you really want to do much of. As my grandma. You would choose her as your grandma. Lily Tomlin? Well, I guess you're the age. Lily Tomlin and I are a little closer in age than you and her are. That's really thin. Okay, we have almost enough, but it's probably going to take all of this. Wow, this just got thinner and thinner as it went into this. Ah, look at that. That's like the end of the locks. How cool is that? All right, let's keep this nice and right and put that in there. Well, I've got my friends all wound up now about doing this. They're into the needle felting. I turned Maureen on to the wet felting as well. And now I said, do you know that there are wool festivals here in this state? Wool festivals. You can go pet sheep and buy their fur. Oh, I cut that a little short. It's okay. It's all of me pulled apart. God, what is going on in this neighborhood today? I hope they didn't stop here. Yep, I see black hair. The black sheep hairs. The next thing I'm researching, though, for the book is human hair weaving, which is an ancient thing. A lot of activities in the area. Well, in terms of people needing ambulances, yes. I'm down the road from a senior, not a village, what do they call them? Well, senior housing. But when I was in the condo, when I went out to my back deck, my backyard was abutted their parking lot, one of their parking lots. Sigourney Weaver. What year was she born? like her. She's a funny person. My New York customer and friend had lunch with her and her husband, and they were discussing their daughter, who expressed an interest in getting into show business, and they were trying to discourage it. All right. Well, this is just gorgeous. Okay, so this is my future pocketbook. We will be working with this tomorrow. So, yeah, a little bit. In a way it is, but it's all been combed. Okay, so we have all of the yarn we're going to need for that, but I'm going to get other stuff out of the way. This is usable. We don't need it right now. So I'm going to do all the room I can get tomorrow. Where am I going to put this? Oh, wait a second. This is my travel bag. I went downstairs with it and my kit. I forgot my pad, so I just gave instructions. Okay, you go back in the bag. You bag, go over here for now. Okay. 4:30. I know who has sent me. Oh, Tara. Have you ever seen the musical Gigi? Thank heavens for little girls. Oh, that must be humid as hell. Sorry. Okay, so now all I've got to do is assemble all the plastic and the water we're going to need. So I'm not going to do that now because it's already 4:30. Now it's time for addressing things like dinner, cleaning up my desk, getting things out of the way. Out of the way. It rained here. Now it's not trying to rain at all. When are we getting rain? It's partly cloudy. Large squall line to develop down to Texas. Oh, from Iowa to Texas. Oh my God.
That's not good.
Okay, we're not having rain for the next 24 hours. It looks pretty good. I take that back. Saturday night. At some point we're supposed to get some rain. Saturday night. Saturday. Yeah. can't respond to my friend. She just went through some tests for cancer. She doesn't have cancer, but she's got some other problem. So that's not going to work for a quick chat. No, we'll get back to her later. Anyway, rain. Potentially some tomorrow night. I guess it all depends on every other factor. Alright, so tomorrow we're going to have this here, but it's going to be full of soapy water. Future cat toy. While I was sitting there in the workshop, I finished my little white lily and I had leftovers, so I'm sitting there while everybody else is catching up, with their stuff, and so I just started doing this. And there was a little piece of green leftovers, so I made a white apple or something, I don't know. A white cherry? I said, hey guys, you all have cats, I don't. You can make your own cat toys now. Which is not the worst thing. So, when I was down in our creative circle, that's the way. I have this pink that is not feltable. You can needle felt it, but it will never wet felt because it's synthetic. So I was trying to decide what to do with it. Could make some little circles maybe. Let's get out the scissors again. That's so cool. You make fabric with your own hands. You can see the little fibers when I cut. Actually, I think we're going to just end up with little squares. Oh, you're not square at all. I want you to be square-ish. Square up a little. Okay. Okay, let's get out a needle. My favorite. Stabbing to creation. I love that whole concept. There's a website here on YouTube. I think it's called Stabbing into Creation. Stabbing into something. It's great. Hilarious. Okay. Now, I don't want to stab myself. So to keep my fingers away, I use tweezers. Now, someone here in the building who's been very helpful to me, she loves all the crafts and stuff I do. And although I do not do any boasting, she boasts for me in a way because she keeps putting my little things into the newsletter as resident artists. One of, other people are doing art too, but she just put one in for April that I did not send her. For that purpose, but it's like, okay, definitely not one of my favorite little paintings. Okay, let's get this a little bit better too. When I was little, my mom used to pop her gum, her chewing gum, and I, as a child, adored that sound. I just want her to sit there and pop gum for me. And they called it cracking your gum when you cracked your gum. And I was like, show me how you do that. And she actually did try. Not that she did a very good job of it, but she did try. Of course, cracking your gum is considered rude in polite society. You don't do that in public if you're polite. And my mom didn't do it in public because she was polite. And my father hated it. Don't crack your gum. I can see why he left my mother for a more sophisticated kind of a person. Someone who went to school, had interest in things my mom was completely bored by, like science and history. My mother was a simple woman. So has the weather succeeded in giving you rain, which you sorely need in that state? it's funny when you stare at a shape, whatever color it is, for a while, you stare at it. When you look at elsewhere, you see its opposite. Which is right now I'm seeing everywhere I focus, it looks like it's pink. But it's square like the blue. This is very meditative. Okay. I need to add some more pink to this. I left it so fluffy. Didn't realize how little wool is there. You know, Alice wants something with teal. I wanted a wet felter, a bookmark, which would be this thick. but this wasn't ironed. But she wants teal, and I'm thinking about what I have in that, and I don't think I've got teal. Got the purples, pinks. Let's check. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to order it. Definitely not teal. Got aqua. Let's take a look at the greens. Anything I could mix. Everything close. Mint green is the closest I've got. What if I mix a little of that blue. This just got here today, so I haven't removed it from the bag yet. Oh, come on. It's kind of starting to feel like it was a puzzle box. All right, so we've got this mint green. It looks like it was added last minute. All right, let's take a little off that. And we will have to put this in a new bag. All right, let's see what we've got. So we've got the green. We need some blue. Uh-oh. This does not feel like wool. This feels synthetic. This better not be. This has a shininess and a softness that makes me think fake wool. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Now let's get it wet. Now real wool does not take anything to felt actually, but water and friction and pressure. So real wool will turn into a ball by you continuing to manipulate it like this. The more you do this, the smaller it should get. If, however, it's not wool, it's synthetic, this will not turn into a felted ball. Now, I'm pretty sure that two out of three of these fibers is really wool. We're going to find out. I'll just work that around a little bit. Then I'm going to take a piece of this that I suspect is fake wool. And we are going to, let me get rid of this. This has some real wool in it, and that will not tell me the truth. Off you go. Okay, well, some of it's knotting up. All right, let's try again. Well, it's certainly floofy. Now let's get it wet. There, over the sponge. I'm already suspicious because it seems to be shedding water. Okay. Looks weird, right? This is 50% wool and 50% the dubious fiber. This is 100% the dubious fiber. And I don't feel any felting happening between my fingers. Takes about 5 minutes or so before you really see felting. However, it should not pop right back up to this. It's fine for needle felting, but I don't need anything for needle felting. This is definitely better. Maybe, maybe. Well, it's knotting up. I'm not sure it's actually felting. Look at the size difference. Let's take a piece of what I know for a fact is plain wool. And I know this is plain wool because I felt it already a little bit. So this is definitely wool here in my hands, and I'm just using a couple different colors, but it's the same merino top. Now, a teacher in Hungary was filmed making a large yarn ball, the kind that you can buy, New Zealand yarn or wool balls to put in your dryer. I use them. They're really helpful, especially if you're doing a load of towels. It dries them faster because it pulls the water off it. Okay, so this is just 100% real wool in this case. And that is definitely felting. Right there we've got just that little bit compared to this has made a really tight little ball. If I keep doing this, it's just going to get smaller and harder. This is how you make beads. You can put end caps and run a needle through it. But this, with this fiber, it's enmeshed. It's felted together, but I still have my doubts about this stuff. I had to comb this to knot it up. And it feels like it's drying super fast, way faster than natural fiber does. Yeah, that's definitely trying to felt. This is definitely felted already. Dust, water, and pressure. That's it. So how was this discovered? Animal hair. Like, you have an animal pacing around its bed for a while, and if you don't clean it every week, you just peel off the hair they shed. Well, that's already felted right there. Hair, wool especially, it has its own texture and is going to interlock with itself. This is super disappointing, and yeah, I'm going to want my money back for this. They're not going to be able to talk me into believing that this is natural. It's got that sparkle. Sparkle does not happen in regular wool. So we're going to have to deal with that. Now, I also bought a bunch of other fibers. Now I'm going to have to check them all and make sure that they are not synthetic as well. Well, this is as far as we got today. It's 5:04. I will deal with this tomorrow because now it's time to create a dinner. And I have so many options. Well, it looks like I'm going to be getting money back from Temu because some of this is just pure bullshit. But we will see how much BS tomorrow. For now, I'm going to say good night. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here early if I can be. As early as I can get my butt out of bed and